Today's math lesson is titled Reading an Analog Clock. Isabel needs to tell time so that she isn't late to work, to cook from recipes, or to get together with friends. Use the clock below to solve the problems. When counting around an analog clock, count by fives. Write the correct numbers on the blanks. So this is an analog clock. When we're trying to figure out these missing numbers, we are counting by 5. If you look over on the right, where the 1 is at, you will see a 5 beneath it, meaning the first number above the 1 is 5. So let's keep counting by 5. What do you think is going to be above the 2? If you're still having trouble, look at the clock on the right. Underneath the 2, there's a 10. So above this 2, there must be a 10. Now let's see if 3 really does make 15. Let's look at the clock on the right. 3, there's a 15. 3, there's a 15. Yep, that seems right so far. So remember, we're counting by 5s. So 5, 10, 15. What's next? If you guessed 20, you're correct. Let's keep going. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. What number do you think is next? Right, 50. And then? Correct, 55. Leaving us up to 60, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So we started with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now let's go down to the question. It says, circle the analog clock. This is an analog clock. This is a digital clock. Which is the analog clock? Yes, A is the analog clock. Let's move on. Draw the minute and hour hands on the clock to show 2:15. Remember, the little hand shows you the hour. The big hand shows you the minute. So where will the little hand point to? What number does it say here? Yes, 2. So the little hand has to point at 2. Now the big hand has to point to 15. So which number here do you think will make 15? Is it 2 or is it 3? Yes, the big hand will point to 3. Let's make sure. Let's count from the top. 5, 10, 15. So the big hand is pointing to the 3, meaning 15 minutes. The little hand is pointing to 2, meaning the 2 hours. So this clock shows the time 2:15. Now circle the clock that shows 6:35. So we wanted the little hand to be at 6. This clock has the little hand at 3. This clock has the big hand at 6, making it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This clock shows 3:30. Let's move on to the next clock. Now the big hand is at 6. little hand is at 3. 5, 10, 15. This clock shows 6:15. Now, is that the time we're looking for? No, we're looking for 6:35. We're getting close. Let's check the last one. The little hand is at 6. Big hand is at 7. Let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. This clock shows 6:35. Is that the clock we're looking for? Yes, so C is the clock that shows 6:35. Now, circle the digital clock that matches this time. So let's see what time is on the analog clock. Little hand is at 8. Big hand is at 12. So let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. For remember, 60 can also be where our starting point is at. So 60 can also mean 0. So this analog clock shows 8 o'clock. Now we're looking for the digital clock that also shows 8 o'clock. This shows 2 o'clock. This shows 9 o'clock. This shows 8 o'clock. Which clock should we circle? Yes, we circle C. 8 o'clock. Now the analog and the digital clock both match. Next question. It is 7 o'clock. Circle the clock that shows 2 hours later. Let me read that again. It is 7 o'clock. Circle the clock that shows 2 hours later. So are we looking for a clock that says 7? Or are we looking for a clock that says 7 plus 2? Yeah, we're looking for the clock that's 2 hours later. So 7, 8, 9. We're looking for the clock that says 9 o'clock. So this clock has the small hand at 9, the big hand at 12, making this 9 o'clock. This hand has the small hand at 10, the big hand at 12, making this 10 o'clock. Now we're looking for 9 o'clock. So which is the correct answer? Yes, B is the correct answer. 9 o'clock. That's all for today's math lesson. Until next time.